All righty. Laurie, you okay there? You ready to start?
Sure, yes, sir.
All right. When
And
you're
I
ready.
know Greg and I spoke earlier about at some point I might share the screen.
Yep, absolutely. Feel free.
Okay.
Let me do your bio first.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, thank you, sir.
I've got certain responsibilities here.
Okay.
All right, first I want to welcome everybody to Third Thursday for March 19th. Laura Daniels will be our featured poet. It's been a good month for CAP so far. I'll explain a little later. But let's get straight into it. Laura Daniels, she, her, is a neurodivergent poet and editor of the Fringe 999 Poetry Forum. She has recently been curated in Gyroscope Review, One Art, and the Journal of New Jersey Poets, and is a recipient of the 2025 Allen Ginsberg Poetry Honorable Mention Award.
Wow,
She,
congratulations.
she facilitates a free monthly online writing workshop through Mary's Place by the Sea for women whose lives have been touched by cancer. Her poetry collection, Gentle Grasp, Kelsey Books, is available on Amazon. She resides with her partner in Mount Arlington, New Jersey. Woohoo! Follow her at https:// Laura Daniels Writer .wordpress.com underline. Laura
Maybe I'll drop.
Daniels, welcome to Calling All Poets. You're up.
Thank you.
Everybody, please,
I'll
everybody,
drop
please
a.
mute yourselves.
I'm unmuted, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yes. I thought you were telling me to unmute myself. I'm sorry. Well, thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it this Thursday night. And yeah, well, I'm going to start with Gentle Grasp. That's my original poetry collection. Whoop, whoop, there we go. And actually, one of the things I like to do is always have a poem within that's called entitled the same as the collection. So I'll start with that poem and called Gentle Grass. And it's the journey of a raindrop that I was out after a walk. I was outside, and there's winterberry trees, and there were just a few drops still hanging in there. And I was like, wow, I wonder, some kind of fall, some kind of hang in. And so that was the prompt behind the poem. After morning rain, droplets light is captured like a mirrored reflection hiding in the sun's shadow, effervescent, sighing gently, a perfect teardrop clinging to a bud. Invisible, delicate hold, shimmering clean, crystal clear clarity, gasping, a delicate grasp. Movement makes it tremble, relinquishing, plummeting, fading from sight as it sky dives to the ground. So that's the first. I always like to open with that one. And we were talking earlier, the next poem is going to be what's called a golden shovel. It's called Joy, a Golden Shovel. And the epigram is Joy does not want to be written. It does not need me. From Zima Riza's poem entitled Joy. Soft eyes worship warm joy. It slackens a frozen frown. That's what it does. A tree smile blossoms. How could it not? Foiling complacency, striving to want, creation bursts forth, able to end sheltering. Now it is time to be. Bring forth life, or so it is written. Rejuvenation abounds. There's no hiding from it. Joy thaws rigid restrictions. That's what it does. Fauna flaunts fanciful buds. How could they not? After winter's weariness, springtime will need joyful magic all around. It doesn't need me. So I'm just going to pop up a document about creating a golden shovel. I hope this is okay. It's kind of going off. So this was the original. Linda and I had been talking about this beforehand, and Golden Shovel the poetry form came about by a poet named Terence Hayes. And he wrote a golden shovel on based on a line from Geraldine. Sorry, listen to me. Gwendolyn Brooks' poem, "We Real Cool." So that was the very first one. So this is the original poem, Joy from Seema Riza. And there's the line, does not want to be written. It doesn't need me. And then what you do is with the form then is if it's how many words it is how many lines the poem will be. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the poem is going to be 11 lines long. And the only restriction is that it has to end with the line. So it starts with the title, Joy does not want to be written me. So whatever line you take, that's going to be how long your poem will be. And if you follow the form, the words are in order. And of course, you have to give a little credit to the original poet. And the new poem that you create doesn't have to be on the same subject as the original poem. It just has to offer the end words. Um, so yeah, so if you pick a line with 6 words, your poem's going to be 6 lines long, 24 words, 24 lines long. So I wanted to share that with you, just because I enjoy. I'm going to stop the share. I enjoy writing those. I've probably written about 20 of them. And actually, I'm going to do one more, and then I'll go on to another poem. So this is from a collection that's still searching for a publisher. It's a collection called Wayfinder. And there's going to be a few golden shovels in that. And right now it's out, entered into a few contests and things like that. So I have a lot of hopes for it. So I'll read this particular golden shovel. I'm sure you're very familiar with the line from the Emily Dickinson poem. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. My heart yearns to swirl around hope, to capture it, seal it in a jar so it is kept freshly shelved, ready for when the day darkens with despair and the monster thing escapes, shuddering sun's light with dusky, shadowed, wilted feathers, clouding over the cleared portal that now blocks confidence and perches like a troubled, undisciplined child in the corner, punished harshly by the disciplinarian who controls the soul, because faith alone cannot be trusted and must be thwarted before optimism sings its break-free song. Its lyrics open the shackles, splinters them, allows the tune to chant hopefulness clearly without needing discourse or discussion. Only the melody is necessary. It hums unspoken words left undeclared, hidden but heartfelt, and forsaken, beseeching hope, but never hopeless, because my restored belief stops before the soulless establishment once worshipped at, allowing hope to rise and center me before all. So this I've seen this approach where you highlight the last word to kind of make it stand out. I just did that for us for tonight. I usually don't do that, but I wanted to share that form because it is something I enjoy a lot.
Okay.
And like I guess, oh,
I said,
somebody said, did you have,
I love what you're doing. That's what I
oh,
said.
thank you.
Did
Thank
not,
you.
sorry.
I appreciate it because I wasn't, it is an interesting form. And I was saying to Linda when we started, I come from a math background and an accounting finance background. To have a puzzle like that, it kind of helps work both sides of my brain. So I like it. And, to make it not be forced too it takes a lot of time. So I appreciate the feedback. And I have a couple other poems from Wayfinder. So this is about Mary's Place. Mike spoke about it in my bio. Mary's Place by the Sea. Um, I found this place, this retreat for women who have been touched by cancer, when I had experienced a diagnosis. And I was able to write a poem about it. And here it is. Mary's Place by the Sea. In Ocean Grove, down the Jersey shore, sits a Victorian mansion with a sanctuary spirit, bestowing the gift of community on women with cancer who seldom stop to take care of themselves. Here, sisters bond in camaraderie against a common foe and step into a respite from daily routines. Minds unclutter upon entering this house filled with sea glass and salted air, inducing easy breathing. Time slows, shoulders drop, eyes soften, pressure releases, and exhaustion gradually fades away. One experiences nourishment beyond the palate, relishes relaxation, savors smiles, and finds friendships. After a few days, the mind, body, soul realigns, gifting all who visit a precious souvenir to take home and treasure. I do a monthly online workshop with them. And the only requirement is that you're a woman and either you've been affected by cancer or you're a caregiver. And if you are, you can sign up and participate. And mine is one of probably 24 online classes that they offer for women. So it's wonderful, it's free, and I encourage, and I'll drop my email in the chat. So if anybody wants to get in touch and talk about it, I'm more than welcome to. I welcome your emails. And this, I have a new baby called Baked. And this is just a little saddle stitched chapbook about eating, drinking, and making merry and having traditions from a New Jersey perspective. So this was originally going to be called Savory Sweet Morsels for the longest time. So I did write a poem entitled Savory Sweet Morsels, but then my husband said Jersey Baked sounds a little bit better. So we ended up going with Jersey Baked, but I still have the poem Savory Sweet Morsels. And that's the first poem. And it kind of introduces what the chapbook is going to be about. Basted and sauteed savory delicacies. Mix in bite-sized morsels until sweet elements blend. Flavor with family and friendships to capture and chronicle culture. Add a handful of celebrating, a cupful of mourning. Portion out what is, what was, and what will be until mind nourishment makes the body whole and create savory spark plugs to ignite the writing engine. So that was the opening to kind of get you ready for. I recommend you be well fed before you read it because there is a lot about food in here. So the next one is called Jersey Baked. And it talks about all different places in New Jersey. Calandras on First Street in Newark serve fresh French baguettes and Italian rolls, straight out of the oven if you time it right. The first roll is usually gone before you drive away. Metzer's on Stuyvesant Avenue in Union was known for rich German-style cakes and pastries. Long before the Food Network was created, they made award-winning three-dimensional cakes like fire engines, princesses, and enchanted gardens. Delicious Orchard on Highway 34 in Colts Neck baked the tastiest fruit pies, regular or crumbled. Blueberry in the spring, peach in the summer, apple in the fall, mincemeat in the winter. Watson's on Chancellor Avenue in Irvington had the best bagels, plain, rye, or pumpernickel. Buy a dozen, get an extra one free. Tasty with a smear of butter or cream cheese. Marvel on the Main Drag in Beach Haven baked the tastiest sugar donuts. Watch the conveyor belt by the deli drop golden brown delights into a metal tray. The cinnamon scent embraces you at the door. So that's, and then this one, for our younger crowd, this was a poem that was inspired by an article I read in the New York Times and confirmed from other sources. I'm doing okay, Mike, on time? Okay. So this is called Fridge Sig. The Fridge Sig, this is the epigraph for this particular poem. It says, the Fridge Sig is Gen Z's answer to the smoke break. That's from fastcompany.com. 3 o'clock on Friday, need to stretch out the kinks. Take a moment for myself, a break from the desk. Step away to the mini fridge, grab an icy cold Diet Coke. Crack open the silver can like flicking a Bic. Fizzy, electrifying flavor slides down like a first drag. Smoky brown goodness calms my work worries, lifts my energy to make it until the closing bell. So that's supposedly what Gen Z is substituting for smoking. It's interesting. So that's a lot of places where my poems will come from. I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. And kind of jump off from there. And this last poem from Jersey Baked is called Coffee Flavored Form. I bring my laptop, sit at the same table, wave to the regulars, eyeball the newbies, watch people, and listen to conversations, which add flavor to my form. I was reading a book about the origin of cappuccino, but it was all froth and no substance, joked the barista to the customer ahead of me online. A distracted young dad nearby shouted, "You're spilling it all over," as he wiped chocolate off his phone screen. At a nearby table, an elderly couple locked horns over what to bring to the neighborhood block party. Vignette offerings from strangers, overheard table talk musings, put sculpture movement into my composition. Almost like a little arts poetica, about where it all comes from. Should I do one more, or we're
Oh, you got a couple more minutes. Yeah, do a few more. Yeah.
okay. This is in honor of you guys originating in Hudson Valley, and my son also lives in Hudson Valley. So this is Rip Van Winkle. And the epigram for this is a filtered down fantasy after Washington Irving's story by the same name. Descendant of the Dutch Van Winkle, distant cousin of Rumpelstiltskin, good-natured, kind neighbor, obedient, henpecked husband. Adverse to profitable labor, attending instead to all other business but his own. Preferring to starve for a coin, work an idle field for a dollar. Desperate to escape his farm and tyrannical wife, he scrambles to the highest peak of the Catskill mountain ridge. Encountering a bearded elf with a liquor keg, he sneaks sips, till falling into a drunken stupor, awakening to find his rifle in rusty ruin, his dog disappeared. Famished, he heads to the village, his beard gray to the ground. Time confounded, puzzled his identity. He slept 20 years in one restful night. Finally aged to idle with impunity, now revered as a kind-hearted storyteller, having escaped his petticoat marital yoke with a quieting drink from Hudson's Draft. Thank you. Thank you, Greg and Mike and Jim, for
Oh, come
putting
on,
this.
you got one or two more. Come on.
Okay, wonderful.
Ah, man, don't cheat the people.
All right. I'm going for it. All right. This one is called Wild Weed. This is also from Jersey Baked. Wild weeds grow where it is not wanted, flourishes where it is not needed, harbinger for the wilderness. For some, it is wildflower, a source of medicine, a tea. To me, an intruder, a menace. It undermines my delicate tomato plants, pushes into my well-ordered garden, survives no matter what I do. Turn the soil, dig and pull, spray baking soda. In an organic garden, we coexist despite each other's effort and myopic views of what should be. And myopic views of what should be able to thrive together on Mother Earth. So this one, I just hard to tell, but it's kind of spread across the page. Nah, forget about it. It kind of uses the white space a little bit, which is nice. All right. I have one about Taylor ham. I don't know if anybody knows anybody from Jersey. There's might be a few. In Jersey, we have a breakfast meat called Taylor ham. And some people call it pork roll. But then, and you can kind of tell what part of the state they're from based on how they describe this, how they label this piece of breakfast delicacy. So it's called, the name of this poem is called Taylor Ham Pork Roll. It's easy to tell what part of Jersey you're from by the way you refer to this salty, processed, fried breakfast treat. Answer Taylor ham, there's a 99.9% chance you're from North Jersey, where you learned its proper name by studying diner breakfast menus. Answer pork roll, there's a good chance you grew up in South Jersey, where you were heavily influenced by the wrongly informed Philadelphians. As someone from North Jersey, I prefer to use its proper name because Taylor ham is to pork roll as chapstick is to lip balm and Coke is to cola. I guess people from South Jersey ask for an adhesive strip instead of a Band-Aid when they cut their finger. There's a lot of squabbling with those who live south of Middletown, the Mason-Dixon line of Jersey. This culinary warfare is fueled by South Jerseyans' continued confusion over the correct title of Trenton's fine swine delicacy. I could do one more. Get you really entrenched in Jersey.
Go ahead.
Right, this one's called Trenton.
One more Jersey.
What? One more?
Yeah, one more Jersey.
Okay, one more. All right, this one's called Trenton Tomato Pie. In 1912, Giuseppe Papa of Papa's Tomato Pies started serving pizza with a twist. He fashioned dough into a thin, round layer. Next came mozzarella cheese and toppings, followed by red tomato sauce, not gravy. Papa was the first to add the sauce last. It was christened Trenton Tomato Pie. Soon, pizzerias throughout the state were making tomato pies. Dicey D down the street designs a good one. He knows I want the usual. A plain pie, nothing fancy. Just cheese and sauce, no toppings. The thinner the crust, the better. Nothing beats the first bite of the first slice of that fresh out of the oven pie. Seasoned sauce touches my lips before I crunch down into the cheesy crust. Oregano and garlic mix on my tongue and create a magical Jersey moment. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Whoa, that was great.
It's taken,
Now, if you've never been to Jersey, that kind of welts your appetite, right? And you want to go and you want to have a culinary adventure.
If you can forgive the mistranslation of it, I lived in Soho in a loft for years in the city, and the proximity of great pizza was of very great importance.
indeed, it was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It was
Thank
like that.
you.
It was like that in the Bronx also. If folks want to unmute and say a few kind words, please do.
I was just,
Uh,
yeah,
Laura, if you want to put your links in the chat, please do also.
Thank you. I will do that.
this was fun. It was such a broad range of things. And the thing about the tomato pie, it's so funny because Grace Cavalieri, who's 94, just did a reading for us in Baltimore at the AWP. And she has a whole long poem about tomato pies, long before pizza ever happened, right? Because her relatives, somebody used to make them. And
Yeah.
Anyway, but I know as a kid you couldn't get pizza anywhere because it was the 1950s and it was still like foreign food. We had to go, my mother had to make them. I mean, you couldn't find it. But,
Wow.
now it's like America's favorite food. It's amazing.
That's it.
I mean,
Thank
of
you.
course they eat anything that they think is pizza, which is.
Right. Yeah. Once you get out of the East Coast. Yeah.
But anyway, it was so much fun to hear you read out loud, though. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Laura. It's taken a while for us to get you here, but you're here. There you
And
are.
I appreciate. Yeah. Yeah. It's always fun. It's always very welcoming. There's always I always look forward to the open mic that follows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on with that open mic. I want to thank Laura one more time, but before we do that, I want to say that on April 3rd, we will be back in person at Full Circle, but also on Zoom. Our featured readers will be Ruth Danon. She is the Dutchess County Poet Laureate and the Beacon City Poet Laureate. The wonderful Matthew Spearing, who's been with CAPS forever, and Tim Tomlinson. And then on April 16th, we'll have Irene Sipos joining us. So if you can please join us, please do on April 3rd and April 16th. And I'll tell you what, how about we do, I know Bob usually has short pieces. So Bob, you get to do 4 shorties. But how about everybody else do 3? As long as we're not talking about Beowulf or Wastelands or anything like that. So Linda Olson Graham, you're next. You're up, please.
All right. Thank you so much. Laura, I loved what you shared, and it's really lovely to be here with everyone. My writing is under the name Earth, Ocean, Heavens, and it's a name that came to me when I sailed 1,000 miles in my 20s, and it came to me out on the open ocean and with the thought that I'd publish a book someday by that name. And I actually have a website, Earth, Ocean, Heavens, and a book, a free PDF, a 76-page book on the homepage with the same name. So I'll just share a little sample of some of my poetry and the one-liners. It's what I share is a combination of poetry, one-liners, and memoir. So, has the time arrived when humanity is able to digest the remarkable reality of just how simple it could be to shift the Earth's vibration? Here now, it's our choice how exactly life unfolds. The entire planet could realize we create the essence of the joy. Beginnings from creation breathe peace and joy and balance. They are what reality is made of. Humanity chooses. Breathing, how conscious we are of our breath in each moment as it enters and exits our body determines our experience. Letting go of thinking gently, with very little effort, is an essential component. We, as a collected race of people, could enter what's called heaven. Here, now, we simply need to choose it. The French philosopher Teilhard de Chardin created the word noosphere to describe a layer of thought that hovers above nature and acts as a universal consciousness. It's what people think of as the one mind or the collective consciousness. Chardin actually felt that our thoughts go up to an energy field and they're reflected back. And that was when it was 30 years ago, it's when I came up with a philosophy that if enough people could quiet their thinking minds just for a few minutes daily, what would be reflected back would be more peaceful, more calm, and more loving. So I believe it's a formula for world peace and calmer weather and widespread healing. Heaven is a breath away. It's this close. Look, I'm breathing. Consciousness can be multiplied by mankind watching breathing. What a concept. An even larger concept. Breathe in through the crown and out through the navel. Hence heaven. Could it be that simple? All the beings of all the worlds are watching now, so desirous of our upliftment, praying to mankind to hear the calls. They've been in a steady stream, beaming to our heart's desires, caressing what we say we want. We could see the end continuum as clearly as they do, rising in the bluest skies, fully in our heart for love, being one with God. The earth is flying now. Time span meaning has new dimension. Space before us beckons. Higher realms are ours. And in parentheses, my parachuting command says, ready, quote unquote, jump. And in parentheses, my parachuting command 1978. So I'll close with a line that which capsulizes what my writing is about. And it's, please hold the thought with me that peace on earth and calmer weather patterns can easily happen in a moment or two of silence in enough of the collective mind. So thank you so much. Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. That was very, 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 very needed. Let's just say that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Join us anytime you can. Jim Seegert, you're next.
Hi, thanks, Mike. So I have a very short piece that's actually a poem. It's a work in progress, and another prose piece out of my book that's maybe 2.5, 3 minutes. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So they're both seasonal, and this will explain my situation and how I relate to spring. And all the light had disappeared and faded in the gloom. Raymond Davies, Rainy Day in June. Neither rain nor shine. The dismal drizzle of a dozen dreary days is my spring song today. Gray weeps through the skylight. No snow. This may be true. Is that all that spring can do? Yes, summer is coming, but it isn't here yet. Submersed in chill and wet, a dankness fills my bones, oozing melancholy. into my heart and soul. The season comes this way, and neither rain nor shine define my springtime. Define my springtime. And so I'll read a short prose piece from my book, Fresh Light. Spring is coming, subtitled Tax Time. You rise from the kitchen table to get another cup of coffee, stopping by the window to peer out through the mist at the soft light emanating from the carriage house. It's almost 6:30. Rosa and her daughter have fed the horses and will turn them out shortly. You'll need to get moving, though. You have a 9 o'clock at the office. You are never late and always prepared. You gaze out upon the back of the estate, seriously contemplating what to do with the guys. Horses have been on the ancestral property since the earliest days. Indeed, initially, they were the only mode of transportation, and the carriage house actually housed carriages. Well, not this one. The original one burned down in the early 1900s. Recalling your grandfather's stories, the current one was renovated in the 1950s and thoroughly modernized some 30 years ago to better accommodate the family's stable of automobiles, as well as animals. Just recently, it was upgraded to the requirements of whatever the local household house horse house codes are, as you are fond of saying. Your accountant has recommended boarding the boys to save yourself the expenses and trouble of caring for animals that you seldom ride anymore. The equestrian equation, he called it, as he showed you numbers. They made some sense. That's his job. He's always done well for the family. The animals are part of the family's culture. You lovingly recall writing Ted number one as a young child, and they've been a succession of Ted namesakes ever since. Yaz probably was your father's favorite, arrived when you were in college. He sired a foal that you named Carl, still in the stable. You've recently added Gronk to draw the wagon and the sleigh, and apparently to tug a delivery truck out of the ditch along the lane one evening. The dog considers them his flock and alerts you to the slightest abnormalities with his charges, and they consider him their pet. They run together in serious bliss through the back pasture every day. Well, not so much recently in Ted's case. You assume there must be some kind of dreadful dollar amount that can be professionally assigned to all this joyous frolicking. You'll surely be informed before the end of the month. At least they weren't written off this year as 21st century pasture ornaments. Lifelong friends at the club have recommended a nearby equestrian center that they personally use for boarding and rehab, featuring individual turnouts, hot and cold wash stalls, a cross-country course, and an excellent 24/7 staff that also provides geriatric horse care. You pause, taking a long, slow sip as Ted hobbles out. A nursing facility for the boys? How did that work out for Mom? Noting that she and your daughter were the last members of the family to actively spend time riding the horses, you glance at the kitchen clock, hurry to the den to retrieve your phone from its charger, then you grab your coat and keys from the back foyer. While placing the cell in your pocket, you notice a message from your financial advisor. Out of caution, let's review your discretionary investment advisement agreements regarding an Asian traded equity at your earliest. You abruptly stop as you are leaving, giving the dog a quick rub behind his ears. Check yourself in the mirror. You grab your bag with your heels and head out, carrying a handful of carrots. You effortlessly deal with your firm's corporate financial strategies and legal obligations, but these personal issues you always find enormously taxing. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks. Well done. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of rain and gloom nor taxes, but that's springtime for me.
Ah, well,
okay.
I don't think there's too many people here in favor of taxes, but
Yeah, I thought so.
yeah. Payton Fisher, you're next.
Am I on? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. What did I do?
Just read it.
Okay. Well, I have to say the name because I don't want to say the name. Um, this one's called
You're good.
Flames ignited, the beautiful orange shimmer reflecting in my pupils. I watched solemnly as everything I once had and ever will have burnt to the ground before my eyes. Every memory, every tragedy, every time seems to vanish in the wind, as if it was nothing more than a speck of dust. Tears blur my vision as if protecting my heart from seeing such a tragedy. Wind twirls my hair between its fingers. It's comforting almost to see childhood after childhood memories fall apart with one flick of a match, burnt away in ashes at the slight gust of wind. I guess as all memories truly are. Soon we will sit next to a carefully crafted casket, wearing a shade of black that seems to symbolize mourning. Where do we go when we die? Death is such a powerful force. No one can escape it, and no one can run from it. We are just here to die.
Right. You got a couple more you want to read?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, okay. I did this one in honor of my mom. Um, as a child, I thought my mother was always right, that she knew everything, that maybe as long as she said everything was okay, it would be. I still wish things were like that. I wish I was still as trusting as a young child that didn't know the cruelty of the world quite yet. I wish I could go back to then, when I didn't chew on the inside of my cheek whenever public speaking. I fear the end, not for myself, but for her, because what will I do when she's truly gone, not just 15 minutes away, not an hour, but in a land of paradise that I cannot reach yet? I don't like being. I sometimes wonder what I'll do when she is no longer here to hold me while I cry. I truly tell myself everything will be okay. And yes, I know she will be just fine up there, but what about me? Who's going to hold me while I cry? Who's going to tell me everything will be okay? And for me to wish one last time it is true. My mother is my home, the only person who has ever truly loved the unlovable monster in me. That's the last one.
Good job. That's
That's your last one?
Mhm.
Well, you've gotten quite the chat going on there for you, so take a look and thank you for joining us today. Feel free to join on anytime.
That was fantastic, Payton. Excellent. Well done. Good writing. Well done.
Thank you.
Our friend from the West Coast, Seth Harris, you still with us? Seth?
Yes,
Don't-
I am. Having
There
a
you
little
are.
computer problem here. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. The end of last year, I published a new book. It's titled Reluctant Messiah. Unfortunately, I cannot show you what the title looks like. I'm very proud of it. But it's the story of a group of poets and performers who travel the country speaking truth to power and getting in trouble for it. I'm going to read a couple of poems that they perform throughout the novel. It's a novella. It's not strictly poetry. It's poetry, fiction, and some philosophical dialogues. This poem is titled Nothing New, the Root of It All. There is nothing new under the sun. Those who fail to learn from history stumble along a forked tongue in the road. The art of the steel, the root of all evil. Lucifer slips another log on the fire, ear cocked to the bully on the pulpit. The little man, thick black mustache, fist pummeling his palm, face orange with fury as he blames Armageddon on liberals, communists, homosexuals. Welcome back. It's Germany, circa 1933. Here's a banana for your republic. There is nothing new under the sun. Those who fail to learn, condemned. King Don, the art of the con, putting his cloak of unaccountability on. You reap what you sow. What could possibly go wrong? Philistine storm the castle, picnic on the White House lawn, yet you find it a hassle to blame the man behind the curtain, certain if you give him a get-out-of-jail-free card, well, what could possibly go wrong? You reap what you sow. Not the first time Machiavelli pulled an ace from the middle of the deck to claim the crown, an orange-faced clown mumbling Orwellian doublespeak, brewing a stew bubbling with hate, confusion and chaos pounding on the gate. Citizens scratch their heads, shrug their shoulders, then ask, "What's for dinner?" Man does not live by bread alone. Not the first time an emperor with no clothes ordered the rounding up of scapegoats while his minions humped the golden goose in broad daylight, silk ties to match their tongues, 30 pieces of silver for any who go along. There is nothing new under the sun. Those who fail to learn, condemned to repeat, repeat. Blame those people over there. Repeat. Eliminate any who disagree. Silence your opponents in the name of free speech. Repeat. Wash, rinse, spin cycle. Repeat. Send in troops when all else fails. And it always fails. Nothing new under the sun. Man does not live by bread alone. Still, the belly-aching almighty dollar groans, quid pro quo, leading back to Rome. Caligula stepping out of the closet. Nero twiddling his thumbs. One playing Monopoly, the other Game of Thrones. Deception dons the judge's robe. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Power corrupts. And absolute power? Ban books from libraries, condemn universities and any preferring to think for themselves. Ignorance is bliss, easy to dazzle with sleight of hand. Now you see it, now you won't. Not the first time corruption grabbed hold of the handlebars, steering the pursuit of happiness towards a precarious cliff, justice with its hands in its pockets, while love of money, the root of it all, rearranges the Supreme Court's docket. You can fool some of the people all the time, and sometimes that's just enough. There's nothing new under the sun. So, and I'm just going to read one more poem. As I said, the title is The Reluctant Messiah. And this particular next poem was performed by two people in the novella. It's titled, as you'll probably guess, The Golden Rule. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. This is what the Christians say, but Confucius said that too. Do not do unto others what you would not have them do unto you. Though they say it different ways, it's the same golden rule. Hurt not others in ways you yourself find hurtful. This is how the Buddhists have it phrased. While the Hindus say, if you do not to others what you would not have them do to you, you'll be happy all your days. Could it really be true? Do both us and they believe the same golden rule? Desire for your brother what you would have him desire for you. This is what the Muslims say. But the Indians believe that too. Let me not judge my neighbor till I have walked a mile in his shoes. Though they say it different ways, it's the same golden rule. What is hateful to you, do not do unto your neighbors. That is the law and the wisdom of the Jews. Regard your neighbor's gain as your own, his loss is your loss too. The Taoists say that. Though they say it different ways, it's the same golden rule. Could it really be true? Though we speak different languages, wear different clothes, eat different food, we all believe the same golden rule? So I'll put some info on my website in this book in the chat. I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you as
Thank you,
always. Powerful stuff as always. And Seth will be one of our featured readers on June 5th, along with Michael McIntyre and David Applebaum. So if you can join us on June 5th, please do. Our next open micer, the one, the only Mr. Bob Heman.
Hi, everyone. Okay, since you said I could read 4 because they're short, I'm going to read 3 from an older little collection called As If, and then one new one. What is required is a man drawn in chalk, a woman wrapped in colored string, an animal hiding in a flower, a small rock made of lace, air they can no longer hold, a word spoken deep outside them. Each time they resemble the thing they resemble changes again into something they still think that they resemble, even though they don't in the same way. Entered a different entrance and found everything changed, even though it was exactly the same. And a new one. Plot. It is convenient to the plot that he is a doctor, that he can no longer count, that there are no more light bulbs in the back room. Thank you.
Nicely done as always. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks.
Ted Millar, you're next.
Okay, great. This first one is titled A Happy Poem. This doesn't delve into politics. It doesn't mention climate. To ensure a brighter tone, I decided to rhyme it. You think my writing dark, my subject matter crappy, so you challenged me to come up with something you'd consider happy. Puppies maybe, or kittens? Twittering spring birds? Maybe I'll begin with the cliche, there are no words. Babies' laughter, lovers smooching in Paris are non-controversial. I'll write something about them suitable for commercials. They won't stir emotions or raise anyone's blood pressure. They'll be happy by any sane person's measure. I promise I won't talk about the poor the rich have always scapegoated. Nothing either about obscene wealth with which society's loaded. No allusions to war, none to disease. So calm yourself down, put yourself at ease. We know the president's fascist, his regime corrupt. Just let this little ditty lift your spirits up. Ignore the evisceration of basic civil rights. This poem is guaranteed to help you sleep at night. Tinkering with elections so the losers win isn't anything you want to hear from me again. So don't worry, you won't. I've learned a valuable lesson. Only submission from me when confronted with aggression. How many do I read? 3 or 2?
3.
3, okay. So while we're on the politics one, I'll end with a non-political one, but this is the second one. This is called Perfect Candidate. He sired 5 children with 3 women, all toward whom he was unfaithful. One dalliance was with an adult film actor just after the third and current wife gave birth to the youngest child. He's been running a shady New York real estate empire inherited from his sociopathic father, who was forced to intervene when his son's Atlantic City casino went belly up. Then came the stakes venture, the vodka venture, the airline venture, the sham online university that ripped off veterans. There are also 5 bankruptcies and draft deferments, multiple rape allegations, and a rather unusually close relationship with child sex traffickers. In the 1980s is believed to be when he began working on behalf of Soviet interests, lest he be overlooked for lucrative construction projects and salacious details of a sordid past be brought to light. As you might assume, his political experience is on par with his compunction. Don't worry, though, friends. NBC invested millions in training him to pander to a television audience anesthetized on reality TV. Never mind, the network later fired him for being too racist. So yes, gentlemen, he's perfect for angry, gullible, ignorant conspiracy theorists. We will tolerate him as long as he cuts our taxes more. Don't worry about congressional Republicans. They'll fall in line. They always do. And this last one is non-political. This is called Thank You, House. You never get the recognition you deserve for having stood on the same spot since the 80s and fulfilling all that's required of modest modular single-family homes. While I can't speak for all, depending on you the last 19 years to provide necessary rudimentary amenities puts me in an ideal position to reflect this chilly November morning on just how much you're appreciated. Without getting too sappy, I extol your exterior, my favorite forest green. I could have changed that, but it's something I've admired ever since the realtor made our acquaintance back before Lydia and I tied the knot. Situated on this quiet side road, you are part of a safe, respected neighborhood. I realize you had nothing to do with that arrangement, yet it is part of the package I feel inspired at the moment to praise. I like downstairs providing almost a separate dwelling for my books. If I had my druthers, they'd be floor to ceiling in every room, and you'd be bursting to the point the library would have to come to you. The new deck makes you look so sleek and sexy. Joe across the street even paid you a compliment the first time he said more than hello to me. Your south-facing sliding doors, gleaming solar panels, machine shed provide a character unparalleled in most dwellings I've seen. Sure, there's the stucco behemoth around the corner my kids used to call the mansion, another across the pond accessible only by boat or SUV. I could have bought one of the myriad $500,000 castles being pushed just before the mortgage crisis. You were it, though, the pick of the litter, the chosen one, the golden child. Mostly, though, I find myself reflecting now before heading off to work to earn the money necessary to afford you how quiet you've been lately. I hope I'm not jinxing anything, but you haven't blown a gasket recently, nor done anything to call unignorable attention to yourself, for which we would have to dip into savings to address. Thank you for that. When you do pop off again, bear in mind you're the only home Madeline and Patrick have ever known, and they'll be headed off to college soon. I plan on retiring in the next 4 to 5 years as well, so please don't do anything rash. Our fate is within your walls. That's it. Thanks.
Well done. Thank you, Ted. That last piece actually reminds me there's a new song on the new David Byrne album, Who is the Sky is the name of the album. And I can't remember the exact name of the song, but his best friend and the thing that knows him the best is his apartment.
I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I love David Byrne.
I can't remember the title of the song. If I get a minute, I'll go look it up. But it's really funny too, and it's David Byrne, so it can't be.
I'll look it up. I love David Byrne.
Yeah, the new album is Who is the Sky? Donna, you want to read next?
Okay.
Yay.
This this is a piece called About Finding Camelot. I sit happily catching wisteria's fragrance, but there are those who've lost touch with the romance of Camelot. My father never told me what the plan is, what the upshot of going my way is. I've been allowed to pursue my dreams in a protective sheath, while there are those in Palestine, Sudan, Haiti, the list goes on, who cannot find breakfast and who hallucinate about gods. Don't tell me you cannot see or hear them, those with ribs sticking out, their tiny arms and legs dangling limp. If you sit across from me with your mug of coffee, with your muffin on a plate, and tell me you don't, not for a moment would I believe you. There are those who cannot have a red apple to crunch and suck in its sweet juice. There are those who know what causes this, who sound loudly their own wish for fruits. When moonlight breaks on the windowsill, I go to sleep, thrashing about with my muscles and sinews twisted, and my grandfather and great-grandfather are in the same sleep, urging me to work quickly. My dream journal notes babies gazing up as a fading left-behind smudge. It occurs to me we could make a better catcher for those falling into the spilling sludge where fishes of the vulnerable catch, malnourish, and stunt their growth with inglorious wants. Whereas if we could catch their blossoms as if from trees, sip with the fragrance of longevity, grow an apple from seed, and the moon and its broken reflection could reappear and give a new way to see as if Camelot really used to be. The rest of us could savour our muffins and sleep easily.
Thank you, Donna. You want to read another one or just the one?
Just the one.
All right. It's always good to hear you. Thank you. You got some good comments in the chat too, so check it out. Maria Lisella, you're next.
Okay. Let me just find my business here. I have this on full screen, so I'll just exit so that I can find my poem. Okay, so this one just got honorable mention in a contest. So I'll read it to you guys. It hasn't been published. Okay, it's called Catherine. My doctor was born in Argentina. Still handsome and, more important, bright, outsmarts the poor medical system we are subject to. Won't prescribe drugs willy-nilly. He wants me instead to take care of myself until I can't. I love this about him, all 79 years of him, and dread the moment he will retire. He is alarmed at the violence in the news, on the streets, the machete one man took to another over road rage, how the other man ran him over, and the victim will be tried for manslaughter. He's not a hawk, does not believe in revenge. Even in his lily-white manicured Great Neck neighborhood, where homes sell for over $1 million and are curated and cared for, he says the violence takes place behind those closed doors. He asks if I watch the news, and I confess I do not. It is not for lack of interest in humankind, but I can manage only small acts of kindness, helping an elderly woman across the street, with her walker or killing those lantern bugs everyone talks about, as if these small acts will save the world. I know better. I can save myself, maybe, and on occasion, save someone from pain or loneliness. And this is why I keep track of my mother's elderly friends, like Catherine, who has maladies she doesn't count, swims 3 times a week, takes to her treadmill every other day, and never moans or complains. Maybe it's the Irish in her. She's a model to me, a widow, with a son nearby but not a daughter, friends who can no longer visit as they cannot drive well. Adept at her iPad, she teaches me Sudoku. I'm surprised how fluent she is with technology, how she finds racy UK comedies, how she talks and strokes her cats, one named Johnny after her dead husband, who's the obvious favorite. They entertain her, they listen and purr. What I love most about Catherine is that she's fearless, faces each day alone or with 2 cats, but alone in her bed that she once shared with her husband for 60 years. She rises, she makes oatmeal to beat back cholesterol, tea to remind her of Ireland and her dead sisters, has a cluster of gadgets to help her get dressed when arthritic hands cramp and spasm, but has yet to come up with a button to turn on the vacuum cleaner with ease. And this vexes her as she wants her house to be as clean as it used to be. She shrugs at the notion, tosses fresh asparagus in a frying pan, a couple of scrambled eggs. If you have eggs, you have dinner, she quips. We never sit at the table. I know where she keeps the forks, the dishes, and we move to the couch with the cats at our feet. I sigh relief, happy to be invited. I share a Greek proverb. Don't tell me what you ate. Tell me who you ate with. We may be treading water in separate ponds, but tonight we're eating together. Can you tell I love Catherine?
Oh, Don.
She says she's lovely. But I think I might have read enough time. It's kind of a long poem.
We want another one.
One more? Okay, one more. Okay, I'm going to read Spring, and this is actually in my old book, Thieves in the Family. And my new book just came out at the hour of now, by the way. So I'll put a link later. This is called Spring, and it was kind of after a combination of Tracy K. Smith and Kenneth Koch. Let's not talk, not a word, this morning. There's so many things to say, too many to start the day. A light rain is falling, so faint it cannot be seen or felt or heard. Let's moan low into winter's covers, rub elbows, knees. Let's write love songs. Let's get silly, hop on a train into the city. See commuters strung up with Palm Pilots and Blackberries, cell phones, hear sirens in spring, sway with the jolt of brakes. Are you with me? Let's not talk. Let ourselves record this moment. We will revisit again on a cold, biting, dark day in January when snow soaks our boots and flies in our eyes. We will have a spring morning memory in an unremembered year. For now, let's not talk. As we shake sleep, I mouth your name. Have I told you? You are gorgeous in spring, trading the bulk of wool for a day in the park, a ride in the dark. Shh, let's not talk. I prefer to watch you in spring, shrug off winter. Don't say a word. Travel in your dreams. Arrive just for me. That's it.
Beautifully done as always.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Scott Norman, you're next.
Let me see here. I'm going to screen share the oh, no screen sharing. All right. I'll just read it. It's fine. I'll just read it. Okay. Obama and the women of Libya. The evil dictator of the month is buried. The sky has fallen. The country is delivered.
The women of Libya wear their veils. Folk struggle and stumble. The tyrant is gone. Free enterprise prospers. Folk are sold on blocks. Who dares to dream? We wear our veils. Blindness within. 1. Blazing from the east blinds the young. The old are bewildered. The bulk of the ogre shelters the children. 2. The emperor parades. Mobs are naked. Scream for Barabbas. A rap sheet an arm long. Bring him back. His wife needs the discipline. Streets need the drugs. 3. People do because they can. People die. They must. Sometimes there is nowhere but here. History shelters all. 4. Is hair dye as absurd as mutilating children? Been there. I'm still here. And I will finish with a very short one, which is curious because I had composed this in 23, and it wasn't with poetry. It was somewhere else in my documents. And I just found it a little while ago. I completely forgot about it. 4 questions. 10, 10, 23. Where is the moon when we are blind? How does direction work? Where is the sun to the starving? If I saw you again for a moment, would I be more or less afraid of dying? Thank you.
Well done.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
Scott. Nice work, man. Laurie, Treacy, would you like to join us? She's still here. I see her there.
I don't think so.
I see her name there. Laurie, would you like to join us?
Yes, I see it. You're muted if you.
All right, we'll let her decide what she wants to do. And Vincent Racaniello, are you next? I see he's there. Vincent.
Yeah, Laura's having tech issues.
Okay.
Yes, I see that in chat. Yep. Okay, I'll keep track of that, Mike.
All right, I see Vincent there. Vincent, you want to join us? Or did he drop off?
I think he dropped off.
Okay. Aubrey Heidorf, would you like to join us? Aubrey, did she drop off too? Could be.
I think so.
Sure, everybody's leaving me with no clothes on, just standing here doing nothing. Okay. All right. That would make our next open mic reader until Laurie can join us. That would make the next open mic or me. And being that we've done a few political things here tonight, let's do another couple. And this is called The Golden Grave. If you awoke fragile today, steer clear. I'm standing on the dry line, gathering steam, and may say things I don't mean or purport to have written. Hitch my hide to the pity parade and parrot its opiate shuffle. Barely disguise my disgust for the words you choose to scrooge your codex, your rabid holy verse, your clown's redress, and how it persuades the querulous few to shoot me on sight, your sucker theorems now historical record, your dark portrait beside FDR, his cousin, and the black guy you fingered to demean and deplore, you piece of shit, you rat's ass, you hell-bent blind soldier at war against science, at war against ourselves, in which no house stands, not even the gold engraved ones. No, no, not even the gold engraved. And here's another one, maybe not as political, but still political. Where did it go? There it is. This is one of those poems that, as some of you know, about 5 or 6 years ago, another wonderful Hudson Valley poet, Will Nixon, and I were doing some collaborative pieces. And this is one of them. And what's really fun about these things is I don't even remember what line I wrote and what line he wrote. So it all falls together and it's called Two Doors Down. There is no corner home for your latest desire, but there is a cozy duplex just off Main behind the shoe repair and waterworks. 2 doors down, there is a cute artisanal bakery where cupcakes become dreams and a toothless man rails for mints.
Where
The Dutch apple chocolate is sometimes dry. Other than that, it's a quiet town, sunny and white, where AR-15s are all the rage and lotto governs the poor. The ringleader lights his flaming hoops as lost girls play hopscotch with religion in their earbuds. The way is cleared for the prophet, the riser erected, the carpet tacked down, the faithful stampede bring their kids to the pyre. Tomorrow could be the be all and end all, but it's just a staircase, a footnote, a cheap sleight of hand the king sometimes uses, then overdubs strings. Then on Wednesday, the town board votes, and on Thursday, another mass shooting. And that'll do it for me. Greg, unless Laurie's joined us, Greg, you're next.
Okay, Laurie, I see her as non-video, non-audio at this point.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The first one is called Fall. Spring, the time of trampled beauty, too busy for beauty. We tend to our tasks. Summer, the fathead grain, sacrificed. Brushed by hands, green gold. Fall is the season of gravity triumphant. And the chill moon, always moving. Winter is for reading and death. Hoarfrost sighs. I dream you back. The next one is called Bellies. The belly of a woodpecker, pale. The unknown weight of a stone. The dusty legs of a moth, minuscule. The apostrophe squan of cirrus above. We all deserve understanding. And the third and last poem is, well, I'll say all three of these were written in the last 24 hours, so they all three are not maybe done. I don't know. I never know what to say or think about that. This one is called Who Lit the Stars? Who lit those stars? What urge? Who said distant, unseeable brightness? Could it be intensive, inventive as sound? Slow down, stanza and chorus? squint like a tailor at her needles. The language of lament is apostrophe. The clackety-clack steps in the hall are everything now.
What was that one about the apostrophe?
Just
was that? What was
the language of lament is apostrophe.
Very cool.
Hope so. It's cool to me.
That's up. That's right. That brings us to the end of our open mic. Laurie, you want to do an encore for us?
Let's see what we got. Well, I always have more poems, Mike. Oh, okay, here. This is from Wayfinder, which is the manuscript looking for a home or a contest. And it also has some food poems. And this particular poem is called Vanilla or Chocolate. As I stand in front of the case display of baked goods, I notice not one, but two types of crumb buns. French vanilla and brown milk chocolate, each topped with white powdered sugared crumbs. I'm going to need a minute. I wasn't expecting this. What to do, what to pick. Why not take both? Because that would be a lot, even for me. But it is Sunday fun day. Making an exception just this once, I'll take both. No bag required. Please and thank you. I savor these Jersey delicacies with my coffee, velvety moist cakes topped with crunchy sugar sweetness. I figured after all the political poems, I'm kind of lighten it up a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Everybody unmute if you want to say a few words, a few final words, please. Everybody unmute and
great night.
Feel free.
Laura, it was a delight to hear you.
Thanks, Gregory.
Poetry.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm glad Donna came up with a poem.
Yes,
absolutely. There you go, Donna. Oh, you're on mute, but that's good.
Jim, thanks for referencing Ray Davies. I'm a huge fan of Ray Davies.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, it makes a few of us. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, not one of his better known songs, "Rainy Day in June," but it fit the work.
I want to welcome our new folks that joined us today, Linda and Payton. Anytime you want to come on board, please do. Laurie,
thanks.
Please join us anytime you can. We're here every first Friday, every third Thursday. So April 3rd will be our next first Friday. Ruth Danon, Matthew Spearing, and Tim Tomlinson. April 16th will be Irene Sippos from Buffalo, New York. So join us when you can. We're always here.
I'd also like to give out a shout to Scott. Scott, I've always loved your stuff. We're on a lot of Zoom readings together, and I love your little zings.
Well, I thank you very much, Mr. SETH. I really like that one book, the one you wrote, A Black Odyssey.
Yes, thank you.
I think I believe, I guess I'm the token conservative here, but I believe that some of the identity politics is way overblown, but nonetheless, it was a good book.
Thanks.
It really was. Maybe someday I'll even get an open or featured reading here. Who knows?
We're working on it. We got a 2027 to schedule, so we're working on it.
Linda, I'd like to talk to you about Provincetown sometime. Can you send me your email or your website or something?
Well, I put something in the chat.
Ooh, okay.
And I mentioned my website has my email address on it, and the website is earthoceanheavens.com.
Earthoceanheavens.com.
Earthoceanheavens.com. Yeah. So feel welcome to send me a message.
Oh,
if you'd like.
okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I wrote that down. Okay, I've got
Well,
it.
good.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Sure.
Yeah.
It was
Thank
lovely
you,
to be
everybody.
with everybody. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes, it was. It was beautiful evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. I'll have it up
Thank you.
online. I'll have this episode up online by Sunday. So
All right.
check it out, everybody.
everyone.
Stay well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone stay
Thanks
well.
for all your
Thank
work,
you. Bye-bye.
Mike and Greg.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Mike. Okay.
See you later, man.